What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Or if you're new to the channel, thank you so much. Welcome and thank you for checking me out. Today I'm excited because we're sitting in the first year of the new generation 4Runner. We're in the 2025 Toyota 4Runner SR5, and the SR5 is probably going to be one of my favorite trims because it's still a simple Toyota, and well, you'll see, we'll get into it. And it's really nice because I was able to capture one in a really cool color. We're looking at the Heritage Blue. So with that said, let's start. We'll start with the outside, we'll get inside, take it for a drive, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's begin. But first things first, I just wanted you to take a look at the window sticker right away. We're at 44.5 MSRP'd over here on this 2025 4Runner SR5. There's the Heritage Blue. This was made in Japan. Here's our miles per gallon. 25 on the highway, 21 combined, 19 in the city. Some standard features here. So this has the 2.4 liter turbocharger. We're going to talk about all this stuff. It's got the 8-speed transmission. It's 4x4. It only has the running boards. Everything else you see today is going to be standard. All right, let's get outside and talk about how nice this blue paint is. And the time has come to introduce the new generation 4Runner. Let's start with my favorite place, the front. So, being that this is a turbocharged vehicle now instead of the V6, we have tons of airflow in the front. It does have an active grille shutter system, so if you look very closely, you'll see the fins. They can actually open and close to generate more heat quicker if need be. LED lights are standard through a projector. Toyota did like the Tacoma. Now remember, the 4Runner is basically like the sister to the Tacoma. It's the SUV version of the Tacoma, body on frame. They went with an incandescent bulb here. I'm not crying about it. I actually like it for cost savings, and I like that nice gentle glow on the eyes. I'm a little weird, guys. If you've been following me, I got weird taste in stuff. I actually prefer the incandescent here. It matches nicely. I know a lot of guys are going to do the LED upgrade and all that stuff, but I think the way that incandescent just glows very nice and warm. It's a nice little touch with all this black on the inside. And if you look very close, there's some ghost lettering here that say 4Runner. I think the camera is just going to catch it right there. And a simple LED side marker is going to shine through here. That's going to be great for the highway with a big reflector. Some shiny black down below. Now in your higher trims, you're probably going to have what I call the candy bar, which is going to be like an LED light that lights up over here. We're on the SR5 level. Some people said that this looked like the Hulk Hogan mustache. It's hard to not see that once you see it. It's kind of funny. But I'm getting past it. It's kind of working its way into the design. It almost looks like a little bit of a bulldog. It's an interesting design cue, but it's all right. The fog lights are LED. In fact, let me turn these on so you guys can see them real quick. So yeah, we're getting the nice LED fog lights. Those are going to help see directly in front of the vehicle, nice and down low. Speaking of down low, let's get underneath. We have the air dam. I think some people will probably take it out with these little 10 millimeters. And what's inside? Simple lightweight skid plate. Let's get inside the wheel well. I really like the way the non-painted black fender flares, which by the way do allow for some airflow. Pretty cool. I like the way those bounce against the blue. Here's what we're working with over here. Remember, this is body on frame, so this is a truck framed vehicle. It's not your typical SUV. It's not unibody. Let me scale back out. Beautiful Heritage Blue. It's kind of like a reincarnation of the Cavalry Blue, which some people had a hard time saying. I think I've said it wrong in the past too. This is coming with the Yokohamas. Toyota mix and matches tires. This is a nice road tire. I'm sure the off-roaders are going to want to upgrade. The wheels are nice. It's like a dark, it's almost like a magnetic gray metallic on the wheels here. Let me get a little closer to the wheels. They do play with the light very nicely, so I'm going to go nice and slow so you can see. They're shiny. It's not going to be that matte finish that you get on some of the off-road models with Toyota. This is a 17-inch wheel. These tires are 245/70 R17. So it's going to be a great size for daily driving. Just enough of a tire wall so you can hit some bumps. Non-painted mirror on the side. The non-painted mirror, I actually like the way this looks because I feel like that would look too much kind of like an ear, kind of like a Dumbo ear. This blends in real nice in black. And I like that they went the flat black because it's going to match the fender flares, these which are optional, and the non-painted door handles. just thinks I'm trying to lock it. These are the factory running boards that you can get as an option. There's different options here. I really do like these though, because you don't have to aim. You can step anywhere, and when rocks are flying up, it's going to protect your rocker panel. I do also recommend adding on some mud guards onto these too, so when you're driving in the rain, you don't kick up a lot of mist. People can see you better. But nice to see. And it's not going to rust. Of course, you have the arms underneath made of metal, but it's less stuff to maintain, which I'll tell you from experience. Running boards are one of the first things to rust. There's our ladder frame. Fuel tank on the passenger side, just like in the Tacoma. Now, this is a new generation of the 4Runner, so a lot of stuff has changed. I talked about the powertrain right away, which is coming next. We will talk about that in a moment, but we're on a new frame system. This is called TNGA-F. So we're going to have a much lower center of gravity, much better turning, less of a boaty feel, and better crashing. And that's the big thing with Toyota. They want to get better over time. They follow Kaizen, which is their philosophy, always getting better. You'll see when we drive it. These things, and you got to drive one of these, they definitely drive a lot better. Now, looking at the side of the body here, a lot of the design cues are very similar to the outgoing generation. The window kind of just push up a little bit more, which kind of gives it, in my opinion, a little bit more of like an exotic look. But when you get inside, the window is about the same size as the last one. And finally, a locking gas door. Nice to see. Let's check out the multi-link rear suspension here. Nice big boxed frame, no C-channel. And onto the back. So this is one of those things, and guys, if you've been following me for a while, I mean, thank you, but you'll know this about me. Sometimes I have opinions about things and they change. So for the taillights, I don't know what I think about the taillights yet. They kind of look like a puffy eye that has pink eye. It looks like a swollen eye, like somebody's got a sty in their eye. You know, I know they're trying to do a more modern version of the outgoing taillights. It hasn't grown on me yet. They look a little weird to me. Let me know what you think about the taillights. Do they look weird to you? Right now they do, but they will probably eventually grow on me. Different trims are gonna have a different design, but what I do like about these is it just glows red, whether the lights are on or off, and it glows all the time, which is good for safety, so people can identify what part of the car they're looking at. We have this nice smoked finish here for the signal. In fact, let me get the signal on real quick so we can see, and then we got the reverse light down below. There we go. So we have now gone to the American style. We've gone to the red signals. So we have a separate signal bar here, and the whole tail light is doing this. But most of the light is focused here. So gone is the amber turn signal, which I kind of prefer amber for safety, but this looks a little more clean cut with the red out design. Now, if I was to shade this out completely, it's very close to the outgoing generation. The back wipers still tucked. A little bit of a lip wing over here. Third brake light, LED integrated. Nice big bulky handle area here with Toyota engraved, nice and deep. And we got this cool diamond design that just gives it just a little bit of touch of texture. Yes, you can still lock and unlock it from the outside with the key fob. And beautiful black 4Runner lettering here down low. Nice and big. With some more grip, very similar to the trucks. Some reflectors in a good spot. Let's get down low. Here's my 7 and 4 pin, spare tire underneath just like always, and the axle. Simple with a hook. I'm going to show you the Heritage Blue in indirect light real quick. It's one of those non-metallic colors, just like the Army Green, Cavalry Blue, Quicksand, Cement, Terra, Mud Bath. I love all of those colors. Look at that color. And the black SR5 badge right over here, it just pops perfectly. When you have a color like this, you have to go with that. Let me know what you think of the color down in the comments, guys. What do you think of this color on this car? I know it's popular for the Land Cruiser. Let's pop the hood and talk about the new powertrain on the 4Runner, the controversial topic. Let's dive into what's powering this new 4Runner. So now standard on the 4Runner is the T24A FTS. This is the same 2.4 that's going to be in the Tacoma. So it's a commercial grade version of the T24 that you also see in the Highlander and the Grand Highlander, and soon to come even more. The T24 is going to be an absolute power plant in the Toyota family, and it's not going anywhere, and Lexus has been using it for a couple years. It's a 2.4 liter single turbo 4-cylinder. This has made it to an 8-speed geared automatic transmission. The shifting is definitely better than the last generation, even though the 5-speed electronic shifting automatic from the last gen was really nice, and the 4.0 6-cylinder, that V6 in the last gen was iconic. It's time to move on. Less emissions, more efficiency, more power. This ride's really nice. And just like in the Tacoma, this T24A offers 278 horsepower, so the same as the 2GR FKS, but 317 torque, which is up from the 2GR FKS, similar to what we got on the 4.0. And the turbo is on the passenger side. It spools up quick because it's a small turbo. But we see here that things are still pretty simple. We have a lot of wires going on, but the battery's in a nice place next to the firewall on the passenger side for weight management. Airbox is easy to get to. Coolant levels easy to check. Coolant hoses are easy to service. Coil packs are right on top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Big hoses for cooling, intercooler right in the front, and the brake system right there. Easy to check, easy to get to. Oil right there. So here's why it's controversial, and I'll just take a moment. The 4Runner always had the V6, and we're in the car market, especially in the Toyota world, we're in a part right now where we're in a time where Toyota has made the executive choice to move on from the V8s in the Tundra and to move on from the V6 in the trucks and move on to smaller displacement with a turbo. People are a little worried about this because with turbo you do have possibly more wear and tear, you're putting more pressure into the engine, and yes, you're working that 4-cylinder. However, I would argue that Toyota knows what they're doing, and they're going to make sure that this does not ruin their name. Has Toyota had some quirks along the way? Yes, the Tundra's a great example of that. And if you go back into the early 2000s and even 90s, Toyota's not perfect, and nobody is. But when Toyota messes up, they fix it. And sometimes they think about it, but they fix it. And you can't say the same about some of the other manufacturers out there. So, and you have to drive one of these before you make the judgments on it. This arguably drives better and handles way better. So that's the direction they're going, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the people that buy these and own them, they're going to be very happy with the way they perform. If you're like I was and still kind of stuck in the past, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow, but I would recommend you hop in one of these, have an open mind, start it, warm it up for a minute, and go have fun and see what you think. And what I would recommend is just change your oil on time. Turbos are not new alien technology. Just warm up the engine. If you're driving on the highway at high speeds or you're towing, you're working it, which by the way, we now have 6,000 pounds of tow capacity, not 5,000 pounds. But if you're towing, you're working it, you're speeding around. When you get to your destination, idle it for 1 minute, let the turbo take a breath for 1 minute of idling, and you're good to go. Change your oil on time, and you should have many years of enjoyment with this powertrain. Now, like I said, it's made it to the 8-speed automatic transmission, shifts really good. We'll talk about it when we drive it. But yes, this is what you're getting in every 4Runner now. There's no option for the V6. You can go for even more power if you go with the hybrid, which we call the iForce Max, but that's not available in the SR5. That will be available in the higher trims. But that's enough talk about the powertrain. Let's open up the hatch and talk about the cargo space before we drive it. When we open up the hatchback to the new 4Runner, we are greeted with 48 cubic feet. There is an optional third row in the 4Runner, and also for the first time available, you can get the 4Runner with the power liftgate in the back. And don't worry, the back windshield still goes down into the door if you like that airflow, but I would like to take a moment and say, if you read the owner's manual about the 4Runner, this is a public service announcement to 4Runner and Tundra drivers. You're not supposed to ride with the window down because you could create a vacuum and suck carbon monoxide from the exhaust fumes into the cabin. That's for when you're going low speeds and especially parked. So just a pro tip, read the owner's manual because there's a lot of safety stuff in there that you want to be aware of. Now let me show you what it's like with the seats folded down. Simple like that. Done. And now we've unlocked 90 cubic feet inside the 4Runner. making this a strong competitive option in case you were shopping a Tacoma, but might not even really need the bed. Let's dive in a little bit deeper here. Cargo lights on both sides, LED. The traditional hooks here, so we can ratchet strap stuff down. The official Toyota first aid kit with Velcro. Some shelves. You're going to see shelves and cup holders here, just standard here for manufacturing in case you do get the ones with the third row, but you can use these for different things. Here's the little VIP area where the concert is. Here's the regular area. Pretty cool. Looks like a stage, right? Nothing under here because, like I showed you, the spares down below. This one has a little insert for the tow hitch receiver. But yeah, there's little cubbies and stuff. Same thing on this side. You might be asking, where's the 12 volt? Right over here. Where's the inverter? We don't have an inverter on the SR5. Super bummer. Toyota, we would love to see the inverter at the base level of all these vehicles. All right, so with this mat, you can slide things in and out pretty easy. They might be grippy a little bit, so you can take the mat out if you want stuff to slide a little bit more, but you gotta remember your carpet's gonna take a beating, so you definitely wanna have this. And the seat belts, they kind of just hang and dangle. There's no clips for the seat belts. But let's get these seats clipped back down, close the hatch, and talk about space as a rear passenger. And real quick, one thing I want to show you, you can clip these down and leave them like this if you want to. And by the way, here are your little covers for the anchors for the car seats. So if you prefer it like this, you don't have to roll it up necessarily. You will have to roll it up at first, but then you can clip it down. Say you just want the seats folded down, because when you do this, it's just going to kind of know to do that. You might be able to catch it in the middle, but this also acts as a recliner. So while holding this up, I can push that back, and there's your upright position, your reclined position, and this even goes back a little bit more, which is nice. But we went a little quick. So here's what it's like getting into the new 4Runner. Remember I talked those windows, they look like they go super high, but they don't. Still tons of glass. All right, onto the door card. Like I expected, hard plastic, a little bit of softness, so we're kind of matching the Tacoma here. Nice handle, no rubberized. I expect to see the rubberized in the front, we'll find out. All hard plastics, little gated storage here, nothing down below. So, your third generation Tacoma had stuff over here. Your last 4Runner had some options. Storage over here, completely gone. Also, tiny little door sill protector, teeny little thing over here. The entrance area, it's similar, I don't know, maybe a tiny bit tighter. This is nice though, just like the Tacoma. This seat's back all the way, but let's hop in real quick. Okay. Nice big window. Definitely not claustrophobic in a 4Runner. Yes, this seat is definitely back all the way. So even with this seat back all the way, at 5'9" to 5'10", I probably got about 6 to 7 inches here. Definitely better than the Tacoma. It's kind of similar to the Land Cruiser base model's interior here. We got this nice, very durable fabric with like this crisscross design. Simple utilitarian cup holders. Gone are the weird little rubber inserts that everybody loses. Now we just have the little adjustable arms. Seat belts are very easy to get to. They don't get lost. We're doing kind of like this hexagonal design here, kind of bringing back the design that we've seen on the current generation RAV4 that's outgoing after this year is done. So it's like kind of like a honeycomb. Don't say Walmart. It's like a honeycomb design. And if we lift this flap, there they are for the little munchkins and angels, right? Because everybody behaves all the time. Ventilation in the back, super jealous as a Tacoma owner. Can point that right to yourself, and ventilation down below as well. So I can cool and heat my feet, cool and heat my torso, super happy. 2 USBs, big one-piece floor mat, and unlike the Tundra, they actually have the channels still, which is nice, because when you get a new Tundra, they got rid of the channels in the back. When little kids are throwing stuff, these channels really do a good job storing the liquids so they don't slosh around. Pockets on both sides so that the passenger and driver can throw stuff in the back real quick. But something I totally missed, now that I notice it now that it's closed, a cup holder, bottle holder, scrambler holder, rambler holder. So that's nice to see, and it's deep. So assuming you don't have a giant thermos with a handle and you have more of like one of those thin, is it a Rambler or a Scrambler, guys? I'm not really super versed on this stuff because I don't drink a lot of coffee and tea, but yeah, it'll fit, one of the small skinny ones. Even with the seat back all the way and me reclined, this doesn't feel too in my face. I'm very comfortable. I'm very impressed, but this is to be expected at the 4Runner level. This material is a little bit different than the outgoing generation. It seems a little bit more of a felt finish. Interesting. I wonder if that has to do with acoustics. Nice frosted LED. I used to say, guys, that I wasn't a fan of the LEDs. I finally caved. I like the LEDs. Only when they're frosted. If they make them too bright, it hurts my eyes. But this, it's more efficient at lighting up the interior, especially dark interior like this. The light gets deeper and it works. I think based on the way this cloth looks and feels, it's going to last for many years. So they did very good with that. But without spending too much time in the interior, let's hop into the Copilot seat and see what it's like being up front. All right, so you're the co-pilot of a new 4Runner. This is what it's like. There's one vehicle this looks very similar to. Can you let me know before I say it? What does this look identical to, guys? You guessed it, the Tacoma. So onto the door card. Still hard plastic, just like the Tacoma, but if you were to get a Tundra base model, you would still get some squishy on the top, which is nice. A little bit softer over here. Now, is it going to have the rubberized? Yes. So we got this really nice rubberized finish, really good grip. Only on the top, not on the bottom. But I like the rubberized. It really does help with that grip when you're yanking on the door. Definitely more storage, but we don't get that cool holder on the side. But it makes up for it because we got 3 slots here and a little interesting area over here. And something I really like seeing at the entry level, even on the Tacomas now, are the puddle lights, courtesy lights, whatever you call these. They shine on the ground so you can see what you're stepping in, or if you drop something, really nice to see. And I love these. I already said this. They're grippy, you don't have to aim, nice. I even like these more than the new Tacoma ones, really nice. Interesting grate here for the speaker. Definitely more dynamic, and I suspect Toyota's going to be offering the scuff guards like they do on the Tacomas as well. For the floor mat, the channel section is actually really small. We only got like one little row of channels. It looks like a train track, and then we got some diamonds and some slots. Simple, flappy rubber mat. I know some people are going to upgrade to third-party options, but I like how they lock into the floor for the passenger and driver side so they're not sliding around. We do have a height adjuster manual for the passenger, really nice to see. A recliner, slider, manual seat, never going to break, simple. Here's the design of the chair. So we got those honeycombs. Let's get closer. This material feels very rugged. It feels, and these bolsters are very strong. You can see the bolsters like this. See how far out they go? And down below with a nice silver stitching. The bolsters are high. It almost reminds me of a RAV4 SE. This material, it's really almost like a retro modern, similar to that Land Cruiser. It's nice. I will miss that ribbed design that they did on the last gen on the SR5s. That was genius. That's gone because those ribs really helped with the body temperature management because it created these little channels for air. But they're gone and I will miss them. I'm sure many people didn't care much about them, but that's a small thing I will miss. Little grab handle over here, and I'll talk about why it's so small in a minute. Okay. There we go. So let me get this out of the way because it's causing a hologram. So many of you watching this probably did not watch my third ownership review of the 2021 Toyota Tacoma Tier D Off-Road, which is on the channel. It's a long video because I really like to dive deep on the ownership videos. But one of the things I mentioned when I first reviewed the new Tacoma was how this was a little bit weird. But I do a lot of research about safety. The third gen Tacoma, and I didn't check the 4Runner yet, but a lot of these older generation trucks are on frames from the early 2000s and they're just dressed differently. In that Tacoma, in the IIHS study, the passenger his head would go forward and the seatbelt would catch and the front overlap crash, and their head would actually hit the big grab handle here. So this is clearly a safety update, which is nice. And the crash safety is updated on these TNGA frames as well. So if you're one of the old school people that are still not too sure, just the crash safety being updated for the side crash, for the updated tests, might be enough to sell you, because you do want to be safe out there. I don't want to hear this, oh, we die like men, we don't need airbags. Well, yeah, that might have been something when everybody was driving those old boats, but you're on the road with Escalades and Tahoes and Yukons and dump trucks, and everything is big now, so think about it. You don't realize how bad it hurts until you're hurt. But the rant is over. This is all identical to the Tacoma, so we have a nice big bucket over here for storage. Some of the higher trim 4Runners are going to say 4Runner engraved like this. Big glove box. And the cabin air filter is easy to get to. It's right in that door. I recommend you change that a couple times a year for some nice fresh air. It's okay. It's soft. It's enough. But when you put your elbow on this is all frame. So when you get in and rest your elbow here, you're hitting metal. But anywhere from here up is soft. Right over here is a little bit of a hollow spot here and here. So from here back, you don't want to rest your elbow, especially when you're getting in. You're just going to hit frame or empty spots. But here up, it's doable. Nice rubberized finish over here. That's going to get softer over the years. So that's a grab handle for passenger or driver. And there's a bag hook, really nice. So the handles here are in good spots for when you're hitting the bumpy roads. So yeah, good visibility. The mirrors protrude a little bit further, which is nice, so you can see in here a little bit better, especially as the driver on that side. On the older ones, there used to be a big blind spot here because of the mirror. So all these small details are coming together. But speaking of details, I want to go over all of these details that matter to mostly the driver. Let's get in the driver's seat and talk about what it's like, and then take it for a spin. And the moment you've been waiting on the whole video, right? Getting into the driver's seat of the new 2025 Toyota 4Runner SR5. So onto the door, same thing as the passenger side, a little bit of soft. On all TNGA trucks now, we have one touch down, one touch up windows all around, and they all light up, which is really nice. You get a feel for these TNGA buttons. They feel very sturdy. Storage, really nice. Little Toyota logo here, popping out on the door sill protector. Just wondering, Toyota, why don't we do the wraparound ones like we used to? Because this corner here is a pretty weak spot. So just curious why you guys wanted to do that. Bolt-in mat, electronic lumbar support. I love seeing that at the base level. Height adjuster, recliner, simple, never gonna break. No handle on this side though, so you kind of gotta grab the wheel. Let's close the door. Nice heavy door. All right, I'm gonna power it down and start it back up so we can see what the startup looks like. Ready? So we got the 8-inch display for both. That's all standard. No 14-inch on the SR5. These are all going to be slots for the higher trims with different stuff, like your locking rear diffie for the Pro, different camera stuff, electronic separating things for the stabilizer, bars, all the crazy off-road stuff will be here on the higher trims. Same steering wheel as the Tundra and the Tacoma, so this is copy and paste. Not heated, but leather wrapped, which is nice. No heated seats. Very utilitarian and simple. Here's our 4-wheel drive lever. So we no longer have to reach over here and look down at it. I can just go to 4 high like that. And then go to 2 high like that. And remember, you gotta come to a stop, go to neutral to go to 4 low. Nice, easy reader. It is all digital. We kind of have like a retro style for the fuel gauge on the right and the coolant temperature on the left. But what's nice is being a turbo, if I go into the settings of the MID, which is the multi-information display here, this is going to be more in the tutorial for the truck, but if I go to the information page, check this out. Very important stuff here I can see. Hold on a sec, guys. So I can see my oil pressure, my oil temperature on the top, transmission temperature. So you see that oil temperature? That's the one you want to look for the turbo. And there's the turbo gauge, the boost gauge. So I go easy on it until my oil temperature is up, and then I can start boosting, which is nice. And it doesn't have to be convoluted, so for most drivers that are not really into it that much, here's my advice. Just let it warm up for a minute, or go easy on it when you first start driving, just like you would any car. After you're kind of warming up a little bit, then you start doing a little more and a little more. I mean, this is stuff we've been talking about for eons. Go a little easy on it when you start it. Once the car is warmed up, you can feel it, and then you start getting on it, and it'll be happy. There's just one little detail. Like I mentioned, when you go hard on a turbo, let it idle for a minute when you get to your location. Obviously, if you go into the emergency room, what matters? But for most other times. Nice utilitarian shifter. Simple utilitarian AC system. Very simple, very utilitarian. Sticking to the 4Runner's roots. I have a video where I go over all the stuff on this. It will be linked. It's the video on the software system. It has wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And every new Toyota comes with 10 years of Safety Connect, or until the 4G network goes away. So if you get into an accident, it'll send help your way, or if you have a medical emergency. Love this one. So we still kept the favorite feature. Storage, a little bit less. You can still get a safe for this if you want to. Cool little 4Runner picture over there. Slot over here so we can put glasses cases, phones, stuff like that. Of course, you have the glasses storage over here. Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot, guys. And then you can stand 2 phones upright like this. No wireless charging, but some of the other trims will. So you can stand up 2 phones so you can see alerts real quick. You can just give them a quick glance. Dual USB and a 12 volt. And more stuff down here. Now, what's cool about not having the wireless charger is you can store whatever you want here. But when you have the wireless charger here, you actually have to be careful what you store over there, because certain things cannot be in the wireless charging pad. The vents are very easy to aim. Definitely a small detail. They're super easy to aim. Some of these square vents on cars are just impossible to aim, so it's nice to see that. All the buttons here in the front. This is going to be in the tutorial. We have different drive modes now, so I can go to sport mode, eco, or normal. I'll show you that real quick. So I have eco, normal, sport. Changes the little color of the design up there. See, blue and then green. Doesn't give you that really cool animation like you get on some of the top trims, but it works. So without making this too long-winded, this is the interior, and it's definitely a copy and paste from the Tacoma. I think that's because of production making things easy, but the personality really shines on the outside, and just the overall dynamic about how this handles and drives compared to the Tacoma, which we're going to find out next. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Do me a huge favor, guys. Give the video a like if you like it so far, and please consider subscribing to my channel, because that's going to let other people out there know that my content exists, and they might enjoy my style of a little bit more of a laid-back deep dive on these cars. If you would so kindly do so, that would be a huge help to you and me and those people out there, because then you'll be alerted when new Toyota content comes out as well. But that's enough. Let's take it for a drive and see what it feels like in the new 4Runner. Now the turbo and the engine, everything is warm. I'll give it a little bit, but I want to respect the brand new engine. No problem. So the sensation I get is I barely had to work for it. That 4.0 was a dog, I'll admit it. It was sufficient, but it was slow. This is not. This is very light at the foot. It's very easy to drive. The visibility is great. It's almost fun to drive. It feels... It's hard to say. It's like I took that work boot off, that heavy boot, that winter boot, ripped it off, and I put on like an aggressive hiking shoe. You know, I'm just so much more comfortable. I think the turning radius has improved a little bit. I haven't looked that up yet, so I'm sure somebody's going to know that one. Please let me know down below. It has electronic assist on the steering, which is nice. It has way less body roll. I'll give it a little more. Way less body roll. It doesn't do that butt wink when you step on it, and if I brake, it doesn't have that huge nosedive. It definitely is doing a much better job being comfortable and not giving me that super high up, super high body roll feel. I feel more confident driving this thing at different speeds. And I feel like I'm working my abs less when I'm hitting the turns, and I don't get that stress of like, come on, let's go, let's speed up. That shows you when the turbo's spooling up. Yeah, this takes the turns way better, infinitely better than the last generation. Big upgrades. Definitely big upgrades. A little bit more of a step from the absolute simplicity modern dinosaur, but how long can we stick with that? I'm sure Toyota doesn't want to lose market share to vehicles that drive better. Yeah, I barely had to push the pedal down. I was a third throttle, maybe, even if that. All right, let's get back to the store and wrap it up, guys. So there we have it, everybody. If you're still here, thank you so much for getting to this point and watching. Today we talked about the 2025 Toyota 4Runner SR5, which is going to be one of the most coveted and popular trims out there, because for the mid-40s, we're getting a lot of upgrades from the last generation. And to conclude, I think that if you have a 4Runner that you've had for a few years and you're kind of getting the itch and getting ideas, come and check it out and drive it, and please report down below what you think after driving one of them. And if you've never had a 4Runner and you're tossed between a TCUV and one of these, I recommend you drive both, and also let us know what you think down below in the comments. I think this truck has a lot of upgrades. I think it does a lot of things better than the last generation. And of course, you assume a very small amount of risk with a new powertrain. However, with Toyota's history, you'll find some comfort knowing that if there's some quirks along the way, they would definitely take care of it. But I wouldn't be worried about the T24 powertrain because it's been around for almost 5 years now. I think we're going on almost 5 or 6 years now because Lexus has been using it, and I think it's going to be an absolute hit. But that's enough, guys. Thank you so much, and please give the video a like, consider subscribing, hit me up down in the comments because that's where I live. I'll see you in the next video. This is Brian signing out. Peace.